Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's session in our Enable AI webinar series. We're excited to have you here for our Adobe session, Work Smarter with Adobe Acrobat Studio. Before we dive in, a couple of quick housekeeping notes. You are currently in listen-only mode. If you have questions, please drop them in the Q&A window as we go along. If time allows, we'll address them at the end or get back to you after the presentation. This session is being recorded, so you'll receive the recording and the presentation slides by email shortly after the webinar. My name is Gabriella Revelal, Global AI Program Manager at Ingram Micro, and I'll be co-hosting today's webinar alongside Adobe's Erica Glendy, Principal Product Marketing Manager, and Kyrie Watson, Digital Media Channel Solutions Consultant. Together, we'll walk you through what's new with Adobe, and what this next wave of AI innovation means for you and how you can prepare your customers for it. Here's what we'll cover. We'll start with an overview of Adobe Acrobat Studio and AI Assistant, what's new and why it matters for you and your customers. Then we'll explore real use cases, a live demo, and wrap with where you can find these resources, including the Adobe Growth Track and Ingram Micro's Xvantage platform. I'll share how you can start your AI journey from assessing your AI readiness to scaling with repeatable, vendor-supported paths and use cases. And now I'll hand it over to Kyrie and Erica from Adobe to walk you through Adobe Acrobat Studio and the incredible AI features built directly into Acrobat.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Thanks for having us today. We're excited to share some of the updates around Acrobat Studio. So I really wanted to start off today by why you should be here and why you should listen to what we have to say. And as I mentioned, we just launched Acrobat Studio. And with this launch, we are not only providing new product value and truly exciting new features that we can talk to our customers about, but we are providing our partners with the opportunity to earn substantially more incremental profit. So with that, let's watch a short video to see Acrobat Studio in action. So Adobe has launched a big campaign around Do That with Acrobat, and it's all for our new Acrobat Studio. So you may see these commercials on TV, on LinkedIn, but we've done a lot more advertising with this launch, and we'll continue to do that. We have some new features that are even coming in January that will continue to emphasize in the market. And so this is great for our partners, right? It will just help with that halo effect where your customers will have an awareness of what Acrobat Studio is, so that when partners are picking up the phone to talk to them, they'll already have that sort of baseline knowledge of what Acrobat Studio is, which is great. Now, let's talk a little bit about the why when it comes to selling Acrobat Studio. We all know that the expectations of business professionals have changed with this new Gen AI world that we all live in. It's no longer about routine tasks. It's about breaking through information overload and getting information quicker. Now, this is especially challenging when we're talking about documents, and documents can be dense and contain a lot of complicated information and can have all these different formats. So it just makes it harder to access that information. Now, collaboration has also evolved from being in a room a lot of times to now being primarily virtual or in these hybrid environments. And this means that teams don't just need to share files, they need to work efficiently across files and meetings and emails and really this constant back and forth. And then finally, the bar for communication is higher than ever, whether it's creating a presentation, just simply an update to leadership. Professionals need to be able to communicate clearly and with impact. At the center of business is documents, and PDFs are everywhere. They're the most trusted and widely used way to share information, to finalize content, and really to communicate across teams. There are now more than 3 trillion PDFs worldwide, and Adobe is contributing significantly to these huge numbers with just the amount that are opened in Acrobat products and also that are shared through links. But here's the reality. The way that people work with PDFs has not kept pace with the way that the work itself has changed. There's critical information that's often buried deep in these documents, and it can cost time and details can get overlooked. And then finally, when the teams get the insights out, the process of turning that into content can be really fragmented. They're bouncing between disconnected tools, one for slides, one for reports, and then one for something that's creative. And that can lead to duplicate work, off-brand content, and slower results. And then when you multiply those inefficiencies across departments and devices, this pain just compounds. So documents are everywhere, but the way that teams work with them is long overdue for a change. This business problem that we see can be solved with the new Acrobat Studio. Acrobat Studio was built to address the problems that we see across our user base. And Adobe sought out to really help users to use AI safely to access information quicker, to then organize and share that information, and really lean in on our reputation as the gold standard for creativity and give our users an easy tool for content creation that looks polished and professional. The new Acrobat Studio combines the trusted productivity of Acrobat Pro with AI Assistant that has the new PDF spaces built in. And then Acrobat Studio also includes Adobe Express Premium to bring that creativity that Adobe is known for to business professionals. And now, since PDF Spaces is new, just let me give a quick, a little bit more detail on PDF Spaces. So PDF Spaces is these AI-powered workspaces or content hubs that enable users to bring in up to 100 sources. Now, this can be documents, it can be web links, it can be text, and you're able to collect this all in one place to then be able to access that information quickly or even share the information. So today we've shared with you a PDF space, and in a little bit, Kyrie is going to help me walk you through what you can do with this PDF space. And it makes the product really come to life if you're able to actually walk through it with us and really see what are all the bells and whistles and what can this product do. So we're excited to be able to show that to you today. Now I want to bring Studio to life a little bit more and show how it will actually change the end user experience and what that looks like. So again, PDF Spaces is this brand new feature that we have within Studio, and users can collect information and they can even use personalized AI assistants to tailor the AI responses. So we'll show you a little bit about what that looks like. And then AI Assistant is still available within Acrobat today. So depending on sort of what view you're in Acrobat, you'll still have AI Assistant, and that will allow you to ask your document questions to get those attributions to where the information is pulling from. And so you can quickly understand the content of the documents. And then Express can be used to easily create content, and specifically brand approved content that is typically created in other Creative Cloud apps. And once your content is created, and that could be a PDF space, it could be something in Acrobat, or now it could be Express, then it's really easy to share with others. So, today we're sharing a PDF space with you all. You can also share your Acrobat files, and you can share Express files, and they're shared in a really secure way. And that's important when we're talking to, customers who are dealing with, concerns around how information is shared. And then finally, Acrobat Studio includes Sign. So if you had a contract that needed to be signed, or any document really that needed to be sent for signature, you can still do that within Acrobat Studio. Now, I wanted to touch a little bit about, there's other players in this space, and what does that look like, and maybe how do we have those conversations? So we hear from our customers that they really think about buying software today in these three categories. So depending on their budget and tolerance for security, they will consider mixing and matching products that fall across these lines, right? So when we think about a business professional, Adobe Adobe aimed to address all three of these categories in one solution. So we're providing a secure platform and really a consolidated way for IT to consolidate their tech stack. Now, PDF editing, in this category, Adobe Acrobat will always win. And will always win based on security. So we are the only company who provides complete sandboxing capabilities that protects against malicious attacks on PDFs, which if you're anyone receiving emails today, I'm constantly getting emails that say, open this PDF, review your bill. And it's a way that they can get access to your machine if you don't have this sandboxing capability. AI insights, now this is where we see tools like ChatGPT fall. And where Acrobat AI Assistant stands apart is we're only looking at the documents that the user tells it to. And again, we're providing those precise attributions. So it really is providing that peace of mind to IT, or really anyone in a customer's IT or security departments, that they have those concerns around AI, right? And what information it's touching. So that really sets us apart for AI. And then content creation. So firstly, we are now connecting Acrobat and Express to have a more integrated experience. And this will continue to get better. Just wait until January. We have new features coming that really bring this to life. This means that users are able to stay in the flow of their work, right? They're working in documents, and then they need to create something, and they can move over to Express. Our competition also does not have an integration with Adobe Creative Cloud. So that means that these design teams that are creating a lot of the brand kits and tools for their end users, they're having to recreate that work in our competitors' tools. So in Adobe, it's all integrated, and the tools that they're creating in, like Photoshop and InDesign, they can easily just bring them into Express, and then all their users benefit from that fast content creation, and they're staying on brand, and it really just helps with that scale. I use this all the time. Like Adobe has given me brand kits and brand approved templates that I can really quickly leverage when I'm creating those like one pagers for our partners or FAQs, and I can make sure it's appropriately branded. So now we're going to get into the demo portion, which is great. You guys can actually get inside the tool. So I believe that we have the link for the space that's been put in the chat. So please direct yourself to the chat and grab the link. Let me just double check that it's there.
You popped in the Q&A.
Oh,
So
you
you should be
popped it in
able
the
to find it in
Q&A.
the Q&A.
Okay. Okay, great. So it's in the Q&A. So click open the link and it should open in your web browser. Now, if you're already signed into Acrobat and you're seeing any issues with opening the PDF space and you're on your business ID, then try your personal ID because we do see sometimes that organizations will block certain cloud services. And this does rely on the cloud, right? So we have these files that are sitting in the cloud, and so that connection has to be available. So if you have issues with your business ID, switch over to your personal, and you should be able to open the PDF space. And then what we'll have you do is actually make a copy of the PDF space. And Kyrie will actually show us how to do that right now. So I think I'll pass it over to Kyrie. You can go ahead and share, and we can start walking through what this looks like.
Thank you, Erica. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Kyrie Watson, as Erica mentioned, solutions consultant. So excited to be here and showcase Acrobat Studio, and hopefully y'all can get your hands on it and do follow along. Follow along. Can everyone see my screen? I'm on the desktop. Excuse me, I'm
Yep,
on the browser, similar to what everyone else should be seeing once they click that link.
looks good.
Perfect. Perfect. So I'm in Acrobat Studio. As you immediately can see, I have a ton of content and information. Just doing a quick, lay of the land. Left-hand side, you can see some of the insights where I can have chat, notes, etc. Immediately, you see some of the insights that the PDF space has already began pulling from the documents in which Erica has been so gracious enough to give us access to and leverage. We have a ton of content when it comes to PDF space. And we talked about it a little bit. Erica mentioned to create a copy of the space. The way you would go about that, if you see the top left part of my screen, top left of your screen, there's a drop down arrow right after the title of the space. Select that, and it says save a copy. And what that'll do, that'll just pop up a whole new space for you, almost like your own playground now. So now you can ask questions, create notes, and a ton of other things that we'll go into more detail.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
again,
So just
yeah,
yeah, just to emphasize that, once you create the copy, then you have your own space. It opens in a new window. But what that allows
mhm,
you to do is now interact with the space. So you're no longer just looking at what details that we've added. You have, like Kyrie said, your own playground. So this is why it's really important for you to save a copy of the space so that you can continue with this interactive demo that we're doing.
correct, correct. So if you see in the previous one, let's just say, for example, you try to go to files in the previous space that was from the link, it will mention these files are view only, copy the space to change them or add your own. Copy the space. You can select that option, but the easiest way, save a copy, and now you'll have your own space.
And let us know if you're having any issues in the chat, and I can try and help you walk through them. But okay, so hopefully I'm not seeing any questions. So hopefully everyone is able to
Sounds good?
continue following along with us. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, so one of the first things we see, Kyrie, is these like cards. Can you kind of explain
hmm
what you're seeing there?
Yeah. So these are just the initial insights that PDF spaces will give you reviewing the documents that's already included. So it's helpful to have like a starting point or like the initial insights from the beginning because in many cases, like you said, you're reviewing tons of documents and you need to get insights, but you just probably don't know where exactly to start. You probably have a ton of things going on in your mind. Like I don't know which question to ask, which one to get the ball rolling. These insights are perfect for that because it takes the documents and gives you some quick insights that you can start having that conversation with, something that may be helpful for you, and something that maybe once you start asking more questions, maybe get the wheel going for questions that you may need to consider moving forward.
Yeah, it's really
Okay.
helpful, just immediately pulling out those insights.
Yeah.
One of the other things that I had kind of talked about was this ability to create a custom AI assistant. Can you
Yeah.
walk us through what that looks like?
Of course, of course. So when it comes to that's a huge component of Acrobat Studio, being able to create customized assistants, which is a great feature because it gets to be a little bit more detailed and more granular on, let's say, the questions or the answers you want to receive from AI. As we probably can see in many cases, if we leverage other AI tools, you ask a simple question. In many cases, it'll give you a long answer that in some cases, may have not have anything to do with your role, your persona. these customized assistants help out with that. So I'm just going to quickly go to my notes, and y'all should have access to this as well. Going to your notes, you'll see custom, excuse me, custom AI assistants. So we have a couple, and the reason why we chose legal and IT is because we're pretty familiar with a few of those use cases, and I wouldn't be surprised if these are conversations that you plan on having with whether it's partners or customers, or just from that perspective of how PDF spaces can work within these different roles. So the way you can create one, I'm just going to copy and paste the role. I'm gonna go to the bottom of the screen. You see the option to choose an AI assistant. And initially with PDF Spaces, you'll have 3 automatically, or 4, the general AI assistant, analyst to get more deeper thoughts and deeper thinking, entertainer if you want something a little bit more engaging, instructor if you want something a little bit more clear explanations and learnings, or you can create your own. I'm just gonna select, choose a name, legal expert. I'm just gonna paste that description I pulled from the notes and save and apply. And within seconds, I have a new legal assistant that I can begin asking questions from these documents from this perspective. So this legal assistant has, deep detail in litigations, contracts, risk. And you can see immediately once I configured this new legal expert, those insights immediately change. So again, me within legal, now I have a few insights to begin having that conversation with. I don't have to twiddle my thumbs and try to figure out what's the best first question I can ask to understand PDF space or how to start the conversation. AI assistant helps me out immediately.
Yeah, that's huge because right off the bat, it's saying, oh, I'm going to go into a legal point of view. And so, to your point, if you're talking to someone in legal, um, you're immediately like, it's more relevant to who you're talking to, which really helps.
Yep. And just for sake of
Um,
time, I'm going to do the other
oh,
one
yeah.
too, the IT. So if everyone can follow along, I'm gonna do the same exact thing. Go to legal or go to my AI assistant, create my own, and then create an IT one as well. All right.
And let us know if you're having any issues. But again, what we're doing is we're just changing the custom AI assistants to give more context to conversations that we're having because the goal of this space is really for you as, a seller talking to your partners to be able to leverage, ask questions. It has all this information on Acrobat Studio. Eventually, you could put more information in the space. So this is a tool for you.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna go quickly back to the normal AI assistant so y'all can see the difference in the insights. So you see within the IT expert, maximizing ROI, streamlining deployment, comparing integrations, all things that folks within IT are familiar with and care about and are really in their main focus. Going back to the normal AI assistant, those insights will change. All righty. So I think a good space to start is asking AI assistant, describe Studio. Like what is Studio? How can it work? So I'm actually going to go to my notes, and if y'all all go to your notes, you will see again a great Erica has been so gracious enough to give us a ton of prompts that we can leverage, making this super easy for me because y'all don't have to see me type, but now I can just copy and paste this information into the prompt. So I'm just going to copy the first one in 200 words or less. What are ways that Acrobat Studio stands out from other solutions that Adobe has released? And
So
again, I'm just in. Oh, yeah.
I was just going to say too, like in that first screen that we had, Adobe PDF Spaces also gives you some prompts. So if you were starting from scratch, for example, and you didn't have these prompts that we're sort of trying to guide you with, Acrobat does try to guide you in the right direction from the get-go, which is helpful. Yes.
All right. You see how quickly within seconds it gave me the insights. And I put the 200 words or less just because I mentioned earlier, it can give, with AI, can give me super wordy, super long um, answers or responses. I kind of want to condense that down, make that a little bit more concise. And this was super helpful. This is good for me because it shows how Acrobat Studio stands out from the other solutions. It includes Express, has efficient ROI, has different aspects that it's helpful for me. Of course, the aspect of 100 files and getting insights. All righty. So one more question I do want to quickly ask. What are ways I can use Acrobat Studio within a sales role? Perfect. And the reason I'm asking this question is just really for all of us on the call to be able to get our hands onto Acrobat Studio, see different ways that we can leverage this tool. There's many use cases within IT using it as a central hub. Within legal, there's a use case of, validating documents. Here are different use cases that can come within sales. So lead generations, sales presentation, because that express component, being able to get insights and then bringing those insights into express, and a few other options too. You can quickly see, I'm not sure if y'all can see it on your end, but you see like the purple boxes right there after each response. That's actually the citations or annotations within AIA, Acrobat AI Assistant, and it's pulling exactly within the document that I'm using. So huge component, because I think Erica mentioned it, is using the documents within the space. It's not going into the web. It's not going within my email. It's leveraging the documents that I've included within my space.
Yeah, which is really helpful, right? Like in some cases, you don't want to go to the web. You want to know my users are only looking at certain content. In this case, it's content that we've curated for you. And that's important to a lot of organizations, right? When it comes to AI. So it helps a lot. And then just really quick to back up. So first, if you're trying to log in and it's not working with your business ID, try your personal. And then at that point, you should be able to create the copy. So that's going to be in the top left-hand corner. That will have the save a copy option. And then you'll be able to follow along with Kyrie as he's creating the custom AI assistants. Because otherwise, if you're just viewing the PDF space, it doesn't allow you to make those edits. So just a quick reminder, because there was some folks asking questions in the chat. Now, Kyrie, we were asking questions, I think, as a legal persona, right? So maybe can we try switching to the IT persona and ask the same question and see how the response changes, just to see, like, what's the difference?
Yeah. Yeah. So let me actually go into that legal persona. I'm just going to ask a quick question. What are
Okay, yeah.
things, or what's the best things about Acrobat Studio? Let me go to my notes. And again, y'all do not have to see me type. I'm just going to copy and paste. What are 5 things I should know about Acrobat Studio from a legal expert? Oops. And again, this legal expert has a ton of information, a ton of insight when it comes to contracts, documents, super long documents. Let's see. Oops. Let me clear my chat. It's probably thinking I'm still within the sales role. You may have to clear the chat in some cases too, because it starts thinking that we're still in the same persona before. Let me just do my legal expert.
Starts remembering. It's smart.
Yeah, very intelligent.
Yeah, part of the AI lore, I think, a little bit actually.
Yes. Yes. All righty, perfect. So
Oh yeah.
we talked about the AI document intelligence, the all-in-one platform. So I can use the spaces, Acrobat AI Assistant, the concept of collaboration. And we haven't touched on that yet, but it's a huge component of PDF spaces, as well as Express. So to be able to create content, reports, anything of that nature. Now let's change this to the IT expert. So what are 5 things I should know about Acrobat Studio from IT?
Yeah, see how it changes maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
And the responses do change. Like we've done this demo before, and I remember there was maybe more detail that the legal persona was pulling out on, like the contract specialization. So it is interesting. Every time we do this demo, it's a little bit different.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's almost like the beauty of prompting. Sometimes you have to have great prompts to make sure you get what you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's almost a skill in itself. But yeah, you can see when I chose IT, had the IT perspective, comprehensive platform, security obviously top of mind, spaces for collaboration, and of course ease of implementation, because when folks are in IT and deploying a ton of software, deploying a ton of equipment, they want to make sure it can be implemented very easily versus very tedious. So you can see the difference. And like Erica mentioned, Acrobat Studio is super smart and intelligent when it comes to these responses.
Yeah, yeah. And it did just kind of change the tone of the responses. They are similar, of course. But yeah, the tone is different. So it does
Yeah.
add an extra layer of that context. So
Yeah.
Okay, let's maybe go back to our legal persona, and
Yeah.
maybe let's talk a little bit about, you know, one of the great things that AI Assistant can do is handle really long documents. Up to
Hmm.
600 pages can be added to these spaces per document, which is just crazy. So for
Yeah.
legal, that's really important. So maybe we ask some questions around, you know, as a legal person, what
Yeah.
what are the benefits? Like maybe some of the contract. Yeah,
Yeah. So the question is going to be, how does Acrobat Studio handle sensitive and lengthy legal documents like contracts?
perfect. Yeah.
I'm in that legal expert persona. So if y'all want to switch quickly back to that, easily can do that.
And again, for a legal person, I'm just thinking, you look at case files and, if you were preparing for a case or you needed to understand maybe some regulations that just got passed, this would be a great way to be able to feel safer about coming into an AI tool and understanding, some of these really long documents. What's the information I should know?
Yeah, it came up with those responses very quickly. Kind of to what you're talking about, looking at super long legal documents like contracts, easy can get summaries of that, identify risk, collaborate. And so I guess we could talk on that a little bit now. In many cases, we don't just work by ourselves. Like Eric and I work with each other very
Yeah.
commonly. She shared the space with me. In many cases, now that y'all have this space of your own, you can share it with anyone else. So you can share it
Yep.
at the top right. You can see I have the option to share it with anyone who I need to. I can add their name or email. I can create a link, share it through a number of platforms. But you can load on the bottom of the screen. You can also see that you can share that AI assistant as well. So this saves a lot of time for your team or for anyone that you're working with, because they don't have to create the AI assistant themselves. They have the access to the AI assistant that you created. You don't have to share this via in some cases you may have had to share those files, share all the insights that you received via email, which can easily be overlooked, which can be easily be lost. Now you can just share via link, and it has all the information that they need.
Yeah, it's a great way to share information because, if you did have to share 20, 50 files or something, right? Like even earlier, Kyrie, you've shared like a zip file with me.
Hmm.
If you put it in the PDF space, what we haven't really touched on is that you can actually download the files that are included in this
Yeah,
space. So that's another
yeah.
cool feature. Like it's simply a way to share documents. Like Kyrie can click into any of these and actually download the PDF. So,
Hmm.
just kind of a cool little extra feature of PDF spaces.
Yeah, you can have it for your own, or you can leverage it into another place. So really cool features when it comes to the space. But also you can add content too. You can add more content to the space as well. So I'm just going to quickly add a link. I think Erica mentioned it before.
Oh
You can
yeah.
add content. Yep. So you can add recent files. You can upload documents. So let's say, for example, you had a document of your own. We'll talk about that a little bit later when it comes to the customer aspect or leveraging it within the sales. But you can also add links. So I'm just going to quickly add a couple links. And you probably don't probably do not have access to this link. I'm just showing it for the capability, the functionality of it. Adding a link to the space. Erica mentioned it before. You can easily include um, Excel documents, PowerPoint, Word documents, a ton of content, TXT files. Let's say there's a transcript from a meeting that you were a part of. You want to include that into the conversation. You can easily do that.
Yeah. And for this, like now we're sort of moving into this sales use case, right? So
Hmm.
we're saying, hey, we've given you this curated PDF space. It includes all this information and content that we've given our partners on Acrobat Studio. Now you can customize it to a specific customer that you may be talking to, or in your case, it could be a partner, right? You can add in their information to your space. And then when you're asking questions, like for this example, we're using Secure Financial as our hypothetical customer. Kyrie's added web links. We have documents that we've added. Now we can actually give some context to the AI and say, hey, I'm talking to Secure Financial. Like, let's draft an email. Let's look at their business priorities and really use
Hmm.
that within the space. So,
Yeah.
um,
That's
yeah,
that's actually where we're going to head. That's actually
let's
probably
do
right
that.
where we're going to head. So yeah, so like Erica mentioned, within the space you have within space everyone should have, secure financial booklet, a financial analyst report, the transcripts. We're going to take off the legal hat, take off the IT hat, put on my sales hat. So my first question is going to be, create a 200-word executive email to the IT director of Secure Financial around Acrobat Studio and the security of the tool. As I mentioned before, the top of mind when it comes to leveraging AI, especially when the space of IT is like, how safe this is. How comfortable should I feel with my users leveraging this tool? Let's create a quick email for it. And in many cases, when it comes for me creating emails, having to be very concise and whatnot can be a little bit of a challenge. I can go on and on when it comes to Acrobat Studio. I might want to confine these parameters, and I think it gave me. I think this is okay. Maybe a little wordy, but it saved me a lot of time where I don't necessarily have to start from scratch with this email. So now I have kind of like almost like an outline that I can easily remove, add some aspects. You see, it included my name and my position, so I can easily make those changes too. And I can just copy this.
You could also save it
Perfect.
as a note, right? So
Yeah.
if you wanted to save
Yeah.
it for later, that, yeah, we have the feature to save it as a note, which would then it automatically puts it over into your notes section. So it's another way that you
Hmm.
can organize information.
Yeah. And then when I do share the space, like I mentioned before, I don't just work by myself. I work with colleagues. Let's say they need to create an email as well. When I share this space with them, they'll actually have this email template as well. And you can see within the notes that it still has those annotation points. So they know my colleague will know once they receive this space, they can go exactly to each of these points and find where within the document that the response came from. So not only am I sharing, information, not only am I sharing files, but I'm also sharing knowledge. Right.
Awesome. Love that.
I think my
Okay.
next question, my next
Yeah.
because I think we're not like I said, I got the email done. Now I'm
Yes.
going to have that conversation. I'm going to meet with the client and meet with Secure Financial and have a conversation about Acrobat Studio. So I'm gonna use AI assistant to kind of help me draft this presentation for me. Um, and like I said, sometimes creating this content may be a little bit of a challenge, but maybe not even a challenge. I just want to save time. I just want to make this a lot easier for me to get done.
Yeah. And so
So I'm gonna ask AI.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, in this example, you have to go to your customer and talk about this new product, or maybe it's a renewal that you're working on. You can kind of get those creative juices flowing right off the bat instead of like sitting in front of your blank page, your blank PowerPoint and trying to figure out like where do I start? What content should I be pulling in? So it's a great way to get started.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's super intelligent. I think we probably said that at least like 5 times. Like the bingo card would have been full if that was an option on how many times we would say AI is intelligent. But it has like the slide information, the title. I just said I just need a 3-slide presentation. It has all the information I need. Um, the content I need. Pretty helpful. And like I said, I only need 3 slides and listen to me. Great, great job,
Yeah.
Acrobat AI assistant.
And you could continue to make modifications, right? Like
Mhm.
sometimes it may be too long or it may not be the right like content that you wanted to
Yeah.
pull from. So you can continue to make those modifications. But again, in a lot of cases, I feel like anytime I use AI, I'm really using it for the beginning. I need to get
Hmm.
the ideas flowing. I need to like start writing something, right? It just really helps get you
Yeah.
started. And then you're obviously, intelligent people who can make those changes and like customize it to um your own style.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the point of AI in this case. Like, it's giving me the answers, it's giving me the response. But as you see within my notes, I can make edits to what I may need or what I may not need. I may not need some aspects of this, like the closing
Yeah.
statement. I'll make my own closing statement moving forward, but I kind of have the outline I can work with, and I can kind of tailor into my own voice, my own tone. But this kind of gave me the building blocks to start off with.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great place to start. I feel like we need
Yeah,
it. So, okay,
yeah.
cool. So you have the presentation slides.
Have the
Where would
presentation
you go from
slides.
here? Yeah.
So, I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier. There's so many aspects of Acrobat Studio that we can talk on. There's PDF spaces, there's the Acrobat AI assistant, there's the custom AI assistants you created, but a huge key component of Acrobat Studio is Express. So now I have this outline of a presentation. I need to create the presentation. We have to work on this presentation. I have to give it pretty soon. That's why I actually go into Express to start working on that. And for those who don't know, Express is almost like the all-in-one web editor tool when it comes to all things Creative Cloud. So you have a ton of capabilities here when it comes to templates, all things like thousands of templates, and it's pretty smart. You can see it understands what time of the year it is, fall, some Thanksgiving things, some Halloween things are on the horizon. So pretty cool feature, but I need to work on this presentation. So I've already, I'm skipping a few steps, but I already have the presentation when it comes to Acrobat Studio and the partnership with Secure Financial. What I really was able to do was just copy and paste that information from my notes and bring that over into a template that my team has already created for me. So that's the beauty of Acrobat Studios, where I can take those content and take that information and bring it into actually a content piece where I can create an asset for it. So I'll just copy and paste it here. You see some aspects of this template are locked down, which is fine for me because I don't have to worry about messing anything up. I don't want to have any trouble with my design team. I don't want any problems with them. When I create these assets, I can easily stay on brand, but also stay within the bounds of our creative space.
Yeah,
See,
this looks
it took
great.
all the information I needed. Yeah, super quick and easy for me. There's also many aspects of it, and of course, within Express, I can change some of the imagery if it's not necessarily locked down. So I can easily replace this with something from my brand that's been approved by my design team, from my library, or from photos or videos. And these photos or videos are from Adobe stock. And again, that is great content that's been leveraged, that is commercially safe to be used. And there's other integrations that can be leveraged within Express, but the real beauty of it is I take those insights from Acrobat Studio, brought it into Express, and now I have a beautiful presentation that I feel pretty confident I'm able to present to Secure Financial about a partnership.
Yeah. And I mentioned this earlier, but Kyrie had to kind of create that outline in PDF Spaces and then copy it over into Express. This integration is just going to come together more seamlessly come January. So more to come, but we're really excited about the direction that we're heading in terms of how this really flows together. So.
Yeah.
And so I have a few more slides that I wanted to just touch on before we wrap it up, and then I think we'll have some time for questions. If we want to do that.
Awesome. Erica, you still had a couple of slides, right?
Yeah. Would you mind bringing the deck back up?
Yeah. And then I'll hop into our demo for Enable AI. It should be coming up right now.
Okay, perfect. Let me just a few more slides. So the last few slides that I have here is I wanted to touch on our lineup because Adobe has had a few product releases, and I want to just level set on what we're selling today. And that's Acrobat Standard. So really that's for our cost-conscious, price-sensitive customers. We still have Acrobat Standard available. We also still have Acrobat Pro. It looks the same as it does today. These two products, you can add the AI Assistant add-on, and that add-on comes with PDF Spaces. Now, we removed Premium, so that's sort of the big takeaway here. We did launch this product called Acrobat Premium, and it was Acrobat Pro with AI Assistant together. But because we launched Studio separately, we have end-of-lifed that Acrobat Premium product to really focus on Studio because, like I said, we're focused on the business professional audience, and we know that these users have to both consume content and also create content. So that was part of the reason there. So just wanted to level set on what we have left. And then just some last minute next steps. So first, start those customer conversations, or in your case, partner conversations. Talk to them about what Adobe is doing, right? We a long time have really just Acrobat Pro, and now we have Acrobat Studio, which is has so much new value, and in terms of the AI capabilities, there's really a lot to talk about there with your customers. And then leverage your resources. So you have an Adobe Ingram team. They're available to answer any questions that you may have. So, let them know what comes up, and also, like, what challenges are you running into, right? What can we help you with in terms of what you're getting blocked with today? And then the rewards are great. So right now we have a great deal registration program for Studio. So focus on maximizing those dollars that you can earn during this time, because we want you to be able to earn those. So we're really excited about those incentive programs. So that's all I have. So I can pass it back over to you. You're on mute. Right.
Yep. Thanks, Erica. Thanks, Kyrie. That demo was brilliant. Now let's get back into how you as partners can interact with what you just saw. So the Enable AI program is designed to specifically help our channel partners build and scale their AI practice. We've laid out a 3-step approach to the overall program, where we're beginning with our AI maturity assessment. It's an easy way to prepare and evaluate your current skills, identify gaps, and map customer demand. The output is a tailored roadmap that shows you where you are today and what steps to take next. The second step in the middle that you see of the screen is train, and here's where we ask partners to build both their sales and technical skills with hands-on labs, certifications, and courses. And we also have partnered with Pluralsight, an online training platform where you can develop and improve your org skills with quality and deeper learning. Finally, with Enable, this is where you can scale with vendor-supported AI paths, such as the Adobe Acrobat AI Assistant Growth Track. These growth tracks give you step-by-step enablement directly from top vendors like Adobe, so you can bring repeatable, scalable AI outcomes to your customers. This is where the Adobe Growth Track comes in. The goal is to help you successfully sell Adobe Acrobat Studio and AI Assistant. So let's zoom into Adobe's specific journey within the Enable AI program. You'll find learning resources, best practices, and hands-on guidance to help you position Acrobat Studio as a lead productivity solution. And it's about showing your customers how AI can transform document workflows and drive measurable business outcomes. So you can see the same structure beginning with prepare to enable. You can start your AI journey at any point, whether that's taking the growth track first and then completing the AI assessment to train. It really depends on your preference and needs. But if you're looking for the guidance on how to get started, begin with the AI assessment so we can equip you with the right guide, the right gear, and the right path. So with that, I'm going to switch over to our Xvantage platform, so you can see where the Enable AI program sits and how you can get started. So I'm currently in the US Xvantage platform right now. And this is our program page. So here you'll be able to see featured AI training for you. There's also featured AI growth tracks for you and featured AI use cases. On the right-hand side, you'll be able to take the AI maturity assessment. You can also retake the assessment too, if you've already taken it, or if another associate within your org needs to come in and complete the assessment as well, they have the ability to do so. So this robust assessment, there's 2 flavors to the AI assessment. There's a 32 question assessment that's more robust and covers a variety of topics to assess your AI maturity. And over here on the left-hand side, you can see it goes through understanding your AI capabilities, vendors that you're working with, technology readiness, challenges and needs that your org is facing in adopting and implementing AI solutions. There's questions about your AI domains, hyperscalers that you might be either working with or thinking about tapping into, what programming languages that your org may be proficient in. And there's also a few questions around evaluating your org's roles and technical skill sets required for AI development. Lastly, the assessment touches on certifications in AI. So we have a better understanding of those vendors that you are looking to obtain certification in or already have that skill set in. And then these responses are categorized into a dashboard for you, where you can then see how this lands across other Ingram Micro partners into a spider graph. And there's 6 key drivers that you'll be able to see where you have landed either ranking in beginner, intermediate, or advanced with the score of your results. Also, by completing the 32-question assessment, you're eligible to claim the free trial license of 60 days to Pluralsight for that quality learning. And there's educational videos, certification paths, and skills assessments available in there. Now, diving deeper into Adobe's growth track. So on the feature vendor page for Adobe, there's a few different tabs, and underneath Learning in Xvantage, that's where all of the Ingram Micro growth tracks will be housed. The AI-driven productivity with Adobe Acrobat growth track is available, and you'll be able to see how to get started with selling Acrobat Studio. There's 4 easy steps for you to, easy comprehensible steps for you to complete. And each of these steps will also gauge your track towards completion as you work through the task within those steps. The first step is introduction to Acrobat Studio and Ingram Micro, the resources that we have available to support diving into Acrobat Studio. And then we also have product education as the second step, where you dive deeper into Acrobat Studio and AI Assistant. So here's where you'll learn about a tutorial that's available, handling customer objections, and then there's also a video training available as well. Under use case exploration, this is where you can dive deeper into real life scenarios of how AI Assistant and Acrobat Studio are used across different personas. As Erica and Kyrie mentioned, there's a lot of legal or sales or IT relevancy across those verticals. So we do have some use cases available in those verticals. The last step is support. So this is where you're really reaching out to your customers to get that conversation going. There's a sales toolkit that has some collateral in there that helps engage with those customers, a solution brief so you can dive deeper into Studio, and then also being able to reach out to our Ingram Micro Adobe team. There is the ability to do that directly from the growth track so that you can get that hands-on assistance and have more fruitful conversations with the Adobe team. Also on the landing page, you'll be able to explore all of the Adobe AI use cases. So here you'll be able to find the legal document processing or analyzing incident reports as an IT expert, another legal use case, and then a sales use case helping with accelerating deals and nurturing customer relationships. Each of these use cases will have like a challenge and a solution that it's solving for. And then each of the use cases will have a PDF that goes into more detail of what the use case is, the impact, a customer story that relates to it, and then just a little bit more details of how to go to market with Acrobat Studio. So some great resources available within the growth track itself and in our resource hub. So let me switch back to our deck because I have a few other items that we'll wrap up with before we open it up for Q&A with the remaining time that we have. So that was a great look inside of where the assessment is, where you can find the Adobe growth track for Acrobat Studio and AI Assistant. So I do want to just recap that Enable AI is all about making AI adoption simple and practical for our partners. through the assessment, education, and of course, supporting you with execution. And it's not just all about learning about AI. It's also growing your business with it, one vendor solution at a time. So today's session is just one part of the broader partner AI enablement series. And on this slide that I'm sharing, you'll see the other sessions that we have covered and what's upcoming by vendor. So I encourage you to explore them and register for your spot to hear more perspective on how these vendors are bringing AI innovation and driving quick wins. And then we do have a slide here that we will share after the webinar that has not only the resources to enable AI and the Adobe Growth Track and the use cases, but also the PDF demo space that Erica and Kyrie were so generous to share with us today. So I thank you all for joining us today. We'll go ahead and open it up for Q&A with the time that we have remaining. And I know we did have one that came in earlier, but I don't see it. So we will open it up if anybody has any questions. Erica and Kyrie, I actually have a question. Maybe you guys can help educate me on. So the biggest difference with Adobe Acrobat Studio, what would you give as advice to partners to go ahead and get started with this conversation with their partners? What do you think the biggest objection is, and how do they get started?
From what I've noticed is, I think the big, not necessarily objection, but the biggest thing that people have top of mind is like I said, with AI, like how safe is this to use when we're using these documents, leveraging them. In some cases, documents have like very important information. That's why we did the legal use case to understand like, is Acrobat AI assistant a training on the documents, anything like that. That's what many objections are when it comes to AI within Adobe, specifically Acrobat. And I can assure you that no, the document is not being like leveraged or analyzed to train the Adobe system. And that's something that you can easily actually review within the space that we've given to you in the link. It has some documents in there that touch on the security aspect of Acrobat AI system and PDF spaces and Acrobat Studio. So that's something that is super helpful to know. And I think one thing I always mention, just play with it. Like that was the kind of the point of it. So you can have access to the space, so you can ask all the questions. You get your hands on the tool, so you can learn more about it.
Thanks, Kyrie. Yeah, so it sounds like getting started is easy, and immediately start exploring the growth track, the PDF space, so you can get familiar with Adobe Studio, Acrobat Studio. And this presentation and session recording will be shared with you shortly after the webinar, so you'll have direct access to everything presented today. And we thank you all for joining. We hope you found the session insightful and that you now have a clear view of the AI resources available through Adobe and the Enable AI program. I'll hang on for a couple minutes if there's any other questions. If not, we hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you, everybody.